Come on. Stop whining.
So sorry to interrupt.
Is that all?
No.
Oh boy, is this great!
Line up, ladies! Now!
Proceed.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Steelers Sanctuary offseason. As much as we wish that we were still doing games, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Overarching thing, we'll be talking about linebackers later on, but other things came up, and we're gonna have a fun debate. The first thing is we had a Rooney decide he was going to let us know what he thought about things, and if anybody thought this was going to clarify things or make Steeler fans all come together and unified and feel better like the Who's, it did not at all. For anyone who didn't see it, he pretty much just shrugged off everything. I didn't feel like there was any responsibility. It was the same thing we've heard over and over. So starting with Dave, and we'll go around. Why even come out? Why do this? What was the point of this happening?
I mean, does he even have an official position on the team? Is he some?
No, he's an author. That's how he makes a living. He's an author. I don't think he's
Art Rooney's brother.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it. There you go.
Yeah, he spent 20 minutes complaining or excusing away why they weren't winning. You know, we had to face Mahomes and Allen, and you know, this we're better than the mean and all that bullshit. It tells you everything you need to know about this Pittsburgh Steelers front office and ownership. This is the prevailing thought through the whole team is we're okay, we're pretty good. Stop complaining.
Yep.
This is the way it's going to be, and this is the way I'll think from Tomlin to Rooney to Khan to everybody. This is what it is. AFC North championships and no losing seasons. This is the goal for the team now.
When he touted that they've outperformed the average that teams do, I was like, I'm going to throw up. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, that's not something to brag about. I think he touted that they have an overall better record than the Ravens or something. I could have sworn he mentioned that the average of teams in the Ravens, their rival or something like that. I was just like, bro, that's not what we're supposed to be about. We're supposed to be about championships, not your record's better than the average. Like, what in the hell? I swear to God, did they put him up to this? I know he was promoting his book. Like, he came out with a book or naughty book or whatever, and it sounds really cool. But, like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, when did we start just worrying about having an average better record than everybody else or something? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's beyond ridiculous. I've seen all kinds of stuff. Well, the standard is slightly above the mean and all that. But bottom line is first of all, it was disingenuous because, and I'm really upset that the interviewer didn't stop him. A 25-year we've outperformed the mean. Hey, let's talk about the last decade. Okay, you've won exactly zippo in the last decade. Florio kind of made this point on the PM team the other day where he was like, well, what they're doing is they're trying to make sure they never go back to what they were pre-Noel because they were the joke for 30 years of the NFL. We were worse than the Detroit Lions or the Browns or anybody else you can think of who's a moribund franchise. We aspired to be the Jaguars for the first 40 years of this franchise's existence. That's how bad it was. That being said, since when is I don't understand why he would say this. And if you go over the last 10 years, there are kids going into high school who have never seen the Steelers be competitive in a playoff game. I mean, we're all old enough to remember when we were the gold standard. We're a joke, and we're going to continue to be a joke as long as we float things like, well, slightly above average and profitable is good.
I've been saying it's all about the bottom line.
It's the word I hate that I've had to use, and it again, broken record that I thought I retired this word when we fired Matt Canada, but what a tone-deaf thing to say. Has he not? It's like he went through on a bullet point list of everything that would piss off Steelers fans to the largest extent, and then he said it. There was nothing he said that made, like, honestly, I'm not a violent person. I've never been in a fight in my life. If he would have said that in front of me, I would have to probably take a step back and hold my hands in.
Zach, jump him.
Just on the off chance that I deck an old man. Oh, and Relic, really quick. Leanne is handling some family stuff, which is why I'm doing my best Leanne impression at the moment. She will be back once we handle all that. But we thank you for showing up at the moment. Legendary picks will be after all this. But yeah,
it's stuff like this, what he said, that makes me believe that I'm telling you, if Nutting and him switch positions, the Pirates will be in the same place and the Steelers will be in the same place. They're the same person. They're the same person.
They're not the same person.
The Roonies don't care about winning. The Roonies don't care about winning. All they care about is making money.
We know Art Rooney doesn't care about winning.
Well, every Rooney I've heard from, and now this Jim Rooney, who came out of the woodwork, is the same way.
Yeah, okay, fine. I can go with that. Art Rooney just, but
he doesn't care about winning.
As a whole, though, no. The Pirates are such a joke, dude. They're such a joke.
I hate to tell you, Dave. The Steelers are becoming a joke, too.
I'm going to put it this way. You know how we need God damn it, you're going to make me go to this Pirate rant. You know how many players we fucking need in positions that we don't get? We don't even go after guys that bare minimum contracts.
You never acknowledge the fact that the Steelers have tons more money to spend because of TV contracts. They have to spend this money. Nutting gets some money, and he doesn't spend.
There's also the rules for the salary cap.
They just signed Queen this past season for record money for them.
Record for them, not for the league.
But still, that's them. That's them. That's what I'm saying. That's a record for them. What they did. That's them going over what they usually do. To me, that's something. Have you ever heard the Pirates say that? Like
no, but I said I would love them to switch, and you would see, because didn't they get voted like 2 years in a row the worst facilities, worst they've scored the worst on that for like 3 years running. That's cheap. That's cheap ownership. That's not spending money.
I agree with you on that. But when it comes to spending money on players, they do that. That's the difference between them and the Pirates. They're the exact opposite. The Pirates.
I told you last week they were 31st in cash spending in 2023. 31st in actual cash. That's signing bonuses. That's going above and beyond to put a winning team on the field. They're 31st. This year they're 20th. They don't spend money.
The big difference, and I don't know baseball that well.
You're right.
The big difference is right now, you ask any Pirates fan, Skeens is going to eventually not be a Pirate. We're not going to do it. The second TJ Watt or Ben Roethlisberger, the best player on the Steelers, we made it a point to keep him on that team long term. You ask any Pirates fan, there's no chance we keep
that.
There is no. So while I don't know all the ins and outs, as far as prioritizing the best player on your team, every single year, I know if I see a Pirates player overperform, I'm like, well, he's not going to be a Pirate next year, unless his name's Andrew McCutcheon. That's the only, unless that's the but that's the big.
Baseball's so much different, though.
That's not just a Pirate thing. That's a baseball in general thing. Half the league is a farm system for the top half.
Yeah, feeder team. Yeah. But he is right though. The Pirates always trade these guys at the end of their contract to gain picks, or not picks, but to gain prospects. But the Steelers don't do that. They usually keep most of their guys. And look at the contract they just gave TJ Watt. I mean, it was guaranteed money. Again, something they don't do. They gave him a shit ton of guaranteed money.
Yeah, but he even came out on an interview.
Players, they do spend money on players. That's my problem. I can't say they're the Pirates because the Pirates just forbid to spend money. I mean, literally, what I was going to tell you the last time we talked about this is they cut a guy that was 4 bats from a bonus of $200,000. The Pirates cut him to not have to.
That was a dick move.
Yep. Yes, it was. And whether they are being honest or not, that's something that the Pirates would do. The Steelers wouldn't do that. Now,
remember, that's the same guy who called the franchise out when he'd been there for 5 minutes at the beginning of the year.
It was Rowdy Tellez. I get what you're saying, and I didn't like it either because he was playing like shit. But at the same time, he was also trying to be a leader amongst those guys. I didn't like it, and I clowned him for it. But at the same time, I was like, at least this guy's trying to be leader. See, you got me on the Pirate rant. God damn it, I didn't want to do that.
Even TJ Watt said after he signed the contract, he said his agent advised him to hold out longer because he wasn't getting what they thought he was worth. And he just said, fuck it, I want to play. Let's sign the last deal and let's go. So they even lowballed TJ Watt. And
But they still gave him a ton of guaranteed money that they usually never do.
He's the best defensive player in football. They had to. They didn't have a choice.
That's the big thing with the Steelers where I get your argument, is that they don't like to do guaranteed money. That's been the thing with the Steelers. But they're starting to change that now. Under Khan, they are. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, actually, that's a great segue because we got some debate energy going, and we need to feed, because I don't want to settle the debate energy and make you guys bring that fire back up again. So we're gonna debate between Colbert and Colbert. Is Colbert or Colbert?
Colbert's the TV guy. Colbert is the
Colbert.
It's most overrated GM in history. You can start there.
So Bob, if you didn't know, we have some differing opinions. So I'm just going to explain what's about to happen, and I'm going to back out of the ring a little bit. We're going to try and the questions that I want you guys to try and answer is it possible that Omar Khan is going to be the kind of person to shift direction? And what is the big difference in Omar Khan and Colbert, and which one is better? Bob, you dropped the first bomb. Do you want to start out, and then we'll see what happens? You're the one who fired the shot, man.
It's real simple. Let's just go back over the last decade of Kevin Colbert drafts, which, on Twitter last night I put it out. He hit on 7 out of 46 picks in the last since TJ Watt. Okay. If we go back a little bit further, here's the 2016 draft. Artie Burns, Sean Davis, Javon Hargrave.
Everyone ignores that one. Everyone ignores the third-round pick who was a Pro Bowler. But we won't talk about that.
No, he
wasn't a Pro Bowler for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Well, because he was playing behind Tua and Hayward.
I'm just saying. That was a good pick. That was a good pick. I have it on my notes that Hargrave was a hell of a pick. Although Bob's right.
Gerald Hawkins, Travis Feeney, DeMarcus Ayers, Tyler Matakevich.
Tyler Matakevich, who's, by the way, is still in the league playing
special teams.
Good special teams.
Okay, fine.
For a 7th-round pick.
I am so fired up.
Okay, I'm glad you said that you count Tyler Matakevich as a good pick.
7th-round pick that's still in the league?
Bud Dupree.
6 years later?
Let's go back another year. Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree's a good pick.
Artie Burns is still in the league. Was that a
Sammy
good pick?
Coates?
He's not a 7th-round pick. I'll give you Artie Burns wasn't a good pick. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Look, you can kind of make an argument if you go back 10 years to the 2014 draft. We'll leave out the 2013 Jarvis Jones glove right there. But you were talking about from the 15 draft, Bud Dupree is still in the league, and he's an okay player. From the 2016 draft,
Bud slander too? What the fuck is going on here?
No.
I said he was okay.
Wait, Bob. In that draft, don't forget, 2nd-round pick, Senquez Golston, 3rd-round pick, Sammy Coates.
But they did get Jesse James in the 5th round. So
he caught the ball.
I mean,
Sammy Coates was he's a 3rd-round pick. I mean,
yeah, better than Roman Wilson, maybe, right?
Better than anything. I'm glad you said that, Bob. He's better than any wide receiver Omar Khan's brought in the last 2 years by 1,000%.
We don't know.
Go ahead. Continue.
Won't play the kid. How would we know?
He stinks. Maybe that's it.
Bottom line, since TJ Watt has been picked, you can count 7 out of 46 draft picks since 2017 are NFL level players that played for the Steelers. I'll go 9 out of 46 and let you count Juju and James Conner, even though
you have to count them. Those are good draft picks.
Okay. Interesting you say that, because they really did their best work kind of after they left the Steelers. At least James Conner did. Okay.
James Conner was pretty solid for the Steelers. He was playing behind Le'Veon Bell, too.
His first year he was. Then after that, it was nothing. He was injured the whole time.
Yeah, so based on those standards, now let's look at Omar's 2 drafts. Patano and Broderick Jones, by your standard, are okay.
What?
By your standard, they're the starting tackles in 2025.
They couldn't even beat out
Broderick Jones.
Dan Moore, who was a 4th-round pick by Colbert. He couldn't. His first round pick that they traded up for got shifted off to another position because he couldn't beat out Dan Moore.
But
That's
by
how bad
your
that one
standard
was.
Of Tyler Matakavich,
I'm not giving you Broderick Jones. That's Broderick Jones is on the level of Artie Burns and Jarvis Jones.
You can't.
He hasn't played one game. He's played one game at his position, and he had the highest rated left tackle.
Then we could make that. Sean Davis never played his position.
But Dave, you can't use Dotson then because Dotson sucked for us.
Whose fault is that? That's the coaching.
Because he got played out of position. It's the same thing with Jones. Jones is not.
Oh, come on. I mean, right guard, left guard, now you split hairs. That's a little bit split hairs.
Why using Dotson when he didn't even do good for us?
Why is Dotson an all-pro when he leaves and plays his position?
Because he got better coaching.
Okay, so with Jones, we have to see him at left tackle in his most comfortable position where he should be playing at before we even really make any.
We may never see Broderick Jones at left tackle because they like Fuatano at left tackle.
Don't get me wrong; he sucked at right tackle. I'm not gonna excuse that.
And you traded up for him, by the way.
I get it, but
you spent 2 first-round picks on tackles, and Dan Moore is still a starting tackle.
And he's
not anymore. He's not in town anymore.
He's going to be at left tackle this coming season, hopefully. And
I don't know.
Then you can really judge him. Like that. Then I'll judge the kid because
they like Fuatano more than Broderick Jones. They were going to put Fuatano at left tackle.
But here's my main point. Okay, with Colbert. All right, I was doing the math of how many players that are starting is that Colbert drafted, or just added compared to Kahn. Kahn in just these 2 seasons has added 18 players to 11 still from Colbert. And here's why. Colbert failed to rebuild the O-line. He failed to rebuild the middle linebackers, the quarterback room, and the cornerbacks. He failed to rebuild all 4 of those. And that's why in 2023, Kahn added so many players. Do you remember in 2023, you and I were like, oh my God, we added another player. And
Dave, they all sucked. Every single one of them sucked.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Colbert failed to rebuild those to where Kahn had to go into hyperdrive.
Tell me one free agent from 2023 that's good. Tell me one.
Any free agent in the last 10 years that Kevin Colbert signed that was any good.
There's none.
They didn't. For a long time, the Steelers didn't even sign free agents. They had a policy against.
Kevin Colbert was an idiot and couldn't evaluate him.
Because you want to go back to the Rooney's are cheap again? Because that's what it was.
Wait, how? What do you mean?
They wouldn't sign free agents. Up until the last 8 years, they only signed free agents as backups. They would never sign top dollar free agents. Never.
What about Jeff Hardings? What about James Ferrier?
Ferrier wasn't a top dollar free agent.
He was a top middle linebacker free agent at the time. Yes, he was.
But
he was cast off at that point, and then he reinvigorated his career in Pittsburgh.
He signed after his first contract in the NFL. He wasn't a cast off.
Here's the main thing about Kahn and Colbert that I think is the difference is the fact that Kahn brings in so many more players.
But Dave, if you bring in a bunch of players and they all suck, what's the difference?
Oh, hold on.
That's better than nothing at all.
I could shut this down real fast because I didn't finish this part. Is Zach Frazier any good?
Yes, that's one. I'll give you one.
Is Peyton Wilson any good?
We don't know yet. So far, so good.
Mason McCormick any good?
He did pretty good.
How many snaps did he play? I mean, we do this all the time.
Mason
he plays
McCormick?
good. He flashes a couple times, and we think he's the greatest thing since Swiss cheese. Peyton Wilson could be good. His knee could fall off next year too. Let's not forget that.
Is Mason McCormick any good?
Mason McCormick is okay. We'll see.
Is Joey Porter any good?
For a 33rd pick overall, I'd say he regressed. Regressed big time.
I think you're reaching there. Is Keanu Benton any good?
Keanu Benton's pretty good. That's 2.
Darnell Washington any good?
No. Darnell Washington is just...
You don't think he's any good? What?
He's a solid NFL player. Is Hall of Fame Herbig any
what
good?
What are his stats? What are his stats? We're doing it again.
I get what
Did he have 10 catches this season?
Right. I get what you're saying.
Again,
when he does get utilized...
He's a glorified tackle.
But when he gets utilized, he's awesome in fucking... blocking.
You're doing it again.
You're counting Tyler Matakavich as a good player. So I would put
Darnell
at least on
I said it's a good pick. A 7th round pick who lasts 6-7 years in the league is a good pick.
Okay, so is Nick Herbig any good?
Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves with Herbig. He's shown flashes. He might end up being good. but he's
Actually,
not good right now.
I'll say
He's
this
not.
is
You
the
can't
only-
say
Is Corey Trice any good?
No,
Corey Trice is not good. He can't stay on the field. He can't stay on the field. You guys are crazy.
No. I
Guys,
get
what-
that. I understand
one
from that
second.
standpoint. I get that. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Zach.
I understand about the content, but we need to come to agreement on one thing, that as much as we want to say, and I want to say, that the guys we drafted in the last 2, even 3 years are good. As far as you guys have seen among the experts, what is the normal time it takes to legitimately, not from our perspective, but legitimately know if a draft class is good? I have seen 7 years.
3.
No,
I have seen
No,
5 to 7 years.
The rookie
removed.
contract, end of the rookie contract. That's when you know
So-
if you did good.
Okay, but so in that case, it's hard for me to know if we can blame the last couple year almost a lot by Con as specifically good or bad. Because you used to ask me last year, Joey Porter is great. You asked me this year, I'm iffy
That's
on
what
Joey
I'm talking
Porter.
about.
So
That's
it's
why we
going-
got to pump the brakes on
it's
some of
going
these
up
guys.
and down.
Yeah,
So
We think
that-
McCormick
that-
is going to be
that-
great.
There's
but
still solid
that's why a
NFL
lot-
players who are starting for the
I-
Steelers.
until
My
we
thing
know.
My thing with McCormick is just that
McCormick is
where
starting
he
because
was
of
drafted
injuries.
at, he was solid. He was solid in his rookie season. He's
Yes.
a 4th rounder or whatever. Like, to me, that's pretty good to get that out of him. Another point I wanted to make too. Like, I think that a big reason besides the fact that Con has brought in so many guys that we're not used to. That's how the Steelers operate. Just remember another thing. Con flipped Claypool for a 2nd-round pick. That's incredible. What else? He only gave up a 6th to add Fields, who went 4-2 for us.
Fields fell in his lap. I'm not giving him credit for Fields.
Like it or not, he grabbed Wilson for league minimum.
Fields told him he would only play for Tomlin, so they had no choice. I'm not giving him that one.
Really? You're not. He didn't tell me.
No,
only
Fields
play for
told him-
Tomlin. He
told the
said
Bears
his
he wouldn't play for anybody
preference
else except the
was
Steelers.
Pittsburgh. They didn't have to give him to Pittsburgh.
They didn't have to, but they had to get rid of
But
him
he
because they
only
had drafted
gave up
another
a
quarterback.
6 for a guy that went 4-2. That's pretty good. What else? I can agree that the biggest failure was the whole not replacing Deontay Johnson. However, the guy's played for 3 teams since we got rid of him. We got a pick and we got Dante Jackson, which was doing fine until he got hurt, and then he
Don't go
sucked.
there. Dante
I'm
Jackson
not
stinks.
arguing with you about that. He did suck towards the end, but he had a bad back injury. So either way, Con won that trade. It's not even debatable. The guy didn't even play for the Panthers.
Okay.
Like,
The Panthers couldn't. Yeah, you're right. He fell apart. So it's a wash because
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's not a wash. We literally got something. They got nothing.
you got below
Look at the
average
2021
cornerback play
draft.
and no wide
Not-
receiver
not-
at all.
Not
Colbert
beginning
2nd
again.
to last draft. Najee Harris gone. Pat Fryermuth. We signed him.
Still there. They could have Najee Harris back if they wanted.
Yeah, they got
Good.
one. They
Good.
could. but
4,000
they're not
yards
going to.
seasons out of a first round pick.
Ooh,
It's a good
Depending on
pick.
what, he averaged 50 yards a game.
I appreciate it.
Now I wonder what his market value is.
Kendrick Green.
Oh, he started to play better when he left too. Imagine
Dan
that.
Moore.
Who?
Kendrick Green.
Oh,
He started playing well for Houston until he got hurt.
So the
Flash in the
standard
pan
is
stuff
that
there,
if you
dude.
go somewhere else and play good,
It's
that
not.
means
It's not.
that
It's not
counted as a
Colbert's
good
fault
draft
that,
pick
that
by
Tomlin
Colbert.
can't coach. That's not. No.
And
Can I have my turn now?
Don's fault that he can't
No.
coach Roger.
Can I have my turn now?
Yes.
4 out of the 7 picks of this last draft missed the entire season. Missed the entire season. What did Tomlin say? Choose a pattern.
Yes.
I'm going to read you the list of skill position players the con artist has brought in his 2 years. I know, Dave, you took some medicine. Hold your stomach. You're going to throw up. Van Jefferson, Cordero Patterson, Quez Watkins, McCole Pruitt, Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, Mike Williams, Ben Skoranek, Anthony Miller, who's
I will
actually
not
playing good
accept
for somebody else
Skoranek
now,
Slander. I will not accept Skoranek slander.
Allen Robinson, and Darnell Washington. These are the skill position players that Omar Khan, that's fireable. That's fireable, guys. It's awful. And free agency is 100% on the general manager. Because we could say Andy Weidel handles the drafts.
Well,
We
then-
could say somebody else handles the drafts.
No. Hold on. Because you can't make the excuse that the Roonies were cheap for Colbert, but Omar somehow has gotten them to open up the purse strings and sign.
They
Either
have.
Colbert was lazy and didn't go after free agents.
No, he was not lazy.
What? Then
Bob,
why
you
are
know,
they spending money for Khan?
they changed their philosophy about 5 years ago with Colbert. Towards the end of Colbert's tenure
What
with
did he
free
sign?
agency.
Name me
5
one
years
big
ago.
free agent signing.
Like
Where do you get that they changed their philosophy 5 years ago?
and free agency, I'm telling you, and you guys know it. They never targeted top-notch free agents. They just didn't do it.
Yeah,
And then
'cause
I think it
they
was
usually had talent.
because Colbert drafted better than these guys do.
The only thing I could think of is Hayden.
Colbert hasn't had a good draft in 12 years. The
Except for
2011
T.J.
draft
Watt,
was the last
George
good.
Pickens, Alex Highsmith. We just
We're
ignore
cutting
those
George Pickens
those
as a
names.
draft pick now?
Real quick.
What is
real
it?
Quick.
What?
What?
Are we counting George Pickens as a good draft pick?
The
Yeah.
belt's up.
Why?
He's the best offensive player.
Get rid of him.
There's a large ringing bell on the screen.
Hey,
Okay,
real
we
quick,
could
I
turn.
just-
We could turn this into an entire thing. If you, David, if what you could say takes 20 seconds or less, I'll let you say it. Does it take
Yep.
20 seconds or less?
Yes.
Go quick.
The market value right now for Najee Harris is only $9.2 million.
So what? Right? That's
You go a little better.
top end of the
Okay,
running back market.
I know.
Let's
you
have-
said-
I wouldn't
I know.
say
I was
that.
God damn it! I was making your point that he
All right,
has to
good.
come back.
Okay.
I was saying it's only 9.2 million. So
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna jump into some.
$2 million for Najee Harris deserves what they get. Please let him sign within the division.
We're gonna
Yeah,
jump into something.
Tomlin
where we can
ran the wheels off
can,
him for sure.
we can keep
100%.
arguing about the because this could go for an entire thing, and
I think we
it's
should go the whole
fair to
podcast.
say that no
I didn't even
one
get to do
on
all my
the
stuff.
podcast-
Yeah, this is
No one on-
this is supposed to be the main event.
Well,
All right, let's move on.
Well, 26 minutes is definitely the main event, considering we're not even at the main thing on of the day. So another thing that we can all just
I didn't even get to bring up Patrick Peterson.
We're moving on. We are moving on from the GM debate. Nobody on this podcast right now is actually wants to be convinced either way. So we've got our opinions out. Let's talk about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, according to a lot of people, said that contract talks are starting. From what I've seen, I've calmed myself down because I was about to get all upset about it. From the amount of media people in Pittsburgh that jumped out within like 5 seconds and said, everyone needs to calm down. You're making a story out of nothing. This happens all the time. Of course, they're going to get a contract, all that. Starting David, and we'll go counterclockwise. Do you think that this is actually something? Is it just people trying to find something in the offseason?
I think there might be some truth to this because I think they can afford both. That's just the way I look at it.
Oh, okay.
Part of me doesn't want to
but-
believe it, but I have a feeling that it could be true. I don't know if I can stomach another go around with Russ and Art and Mike and the band getting back together. I don't honestly. I'm on the edge with this offense. I can't take it anymore.
If it wasn't
really
for Fields' market value being so low, then I wouldn't believe it. But the fact that his market value is so low, that's why I think they actually can afford to do both.
Yeah,
and we'll try.
That whole market value thing, that doesn't mean shit till free agency starts, because I guarantee you look at the list of free agent quarterbacks, Justin Fields is going to get the biggest contract as far as the
You would
out
think,
there.
right? Like that's what I thought too. Like I was like, somebody's going to give him some kind of offer.
I don't think they're going to
He's
be able
not
to convince
pass
both
up,
of them to
but
come back. They're going to have to pick one or the other.
There's a lot of buzz today. Yesterday, the buzz was, "Hey, is this really happening? What are the Steelers doing? Oh my God, this could." But a lot of buzz today was about, "Hey, this could have been as simple as, hey, yeah, Russ, we'll call you." And Russell got on and spun it as, "Yeah, we've started contract." First of all, no contract talks have started with anybody because the league year hasn't started. When it starts, then they can start talking. They may have a little back channel discussion and all that, but they're not talking. And first of all, it's real simple. They might have said, "Hey, Russ, if you'll sign for $3 million again, we've got some interest in you." If you want anything more than $3 million, there's the door. I'm sorry, but if they sign Russell Wilson, in a way it's good. In a way it's good because I will resign myself based on our schedule for next year that we're going to be 5-12 with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And we get
I mean,
what we
Fields,
want
I think,
anyways.
will be 10-7.
Yeah, looking at it that way,
And we get
I
what
guess.
we want anyways.
I guess. I just can't do it anymore. I mean, I can't.
No, I agree.
Tank for Arch Manning, baby.
That's why I had to calm myself down because I saw that my heart dropped. I'm like, if we run it back like this, then it's going to be another season of that. I'm glad, but normally
We will not do as good next year as we did this year.
I know,
Because
100% agree. I absolutely agree.
Yep.
Who else would be in the
We-
bidding for Russell Wilson anyway? I mean, what other team wants him?
the
People looking for
Toronto
a quarterback.
Argonauts have a lot of cap room.
Toronto.
I mean, honestly, who saw that last year and said, I want that guy to run my team?
Well, also,
He's gonna have to
who
come
saw
begging the
anything
Steelers
in
to give him a
Arthur
contract.
Smith that said they want to see it, and two
Yeah.
teams interviewing for head coach. NFL teams are weird when they get desperate. I legitimately don't.
You're right.
I
You're right
don't.
about that.
But I'm not a tinfoil hat guy. But Bob, in this case, this is not the first time. This is probably the fourth or fifth time this season. This specific podcast has talked about the Russell Wilson PR machine. That is a real thing that comes out specifically when Russell Wilson needs it the most. And right now, he probably knows well is dry. No one wants him for what he wants. He wants probably to make real money, and he wants to start. And no one's going to. He's going to start, he's going to start for nothing somewhere. I don't know how it's going to work that he ever starts again. I don't think he's ever earned that from what I saw.
No,
Yeah.
he should be a backup somewhere, a veteran backup somewhere.
Well, I mean, there could be an injury. There could be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of.
His agent's probably going to tout poor offensive line play and poor wide receiver play for a reason why.
And he'd have a point, but still, it doesn't excuse Russ.
But I got a feeling that's what they would tout if they were going to defend him for contracts. I could see that's what they would use.
I mean,
good luck. Go find somewhere else.
Don't get me wrong.
The Jets
I know
probably
it's
need a
him too.
quarterback.
They do. Like there are teams.
What are the
that
Jets
need
drafting? They
quarterbacks.
drafted like 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no quarterbacks after 1 and 2 though. That's the problem.
Right.
You
Well,
guys
I
think
mean-
there's even like a 0.00001% chance of what Relic's asking for here that Russ, out of the good of his heart, comes back to mentor Justin Fields?
I don't even think
I
Justin
would not
Fields
want him back
wants
as a
that.
mentor. I think there's real. Starkey did a lot on this today. I think the Schlereth thing of toxic positivity. Look, positive thinking's important. I believe in it. No problem.
It's not genuine with him though. It doesn't come across genuine.
Exactly. When you are ignoring the facts, hey, I'm positive we need to get better. That's the kind of positive thinking the Steelers needed, not the hey, we're still okay, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and he did the same thing in Denver. He did the same thing in Seattle. I mean, look, appreciate him. Nice guy. Did a lot for the children in the hospitals in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Man, come back and visit anytime, Russ.
Yeah, I feel the
Got
same
to
way.
go.
Just
I think it showed a lot
Justin
of
Fields for a year. It's the only option. It's the only option. There's no draft. There's no one in the draft. There's no one in free agency.
Well, there
Just
is
go
a
with Justin
guy
Fields.
who's not going to be playing for the Jets anymore.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay.
I already told you.
Now you
If
know?
it's
Now you
if it's
know.
Aaron Rodgers
Now
and
know.
the receiver there, I'm all in.
First it was Dave.
I'm in
now
FU
Bob.
mode. I'm in FU mode. Just let's do it. Fuck it.
Okay, how about this debate? Aaron Rodgers versus Russell Wilson.
Aaron Rodgers, 100
Aaron
out of
Rodgers.
100.
Yeah. 1,000%.
Zach?
I know. Those are legitimately the only two choices I get.
28
Yes.
Yeah.
touchdowns, 11 interceptions to Russell Wilson's whatever.
I don't. The thing is, at
You guys
least
in
with
chat,
Russell
sound
Wilson,
off. Russell or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. You got. I don't know if I could
He can't
stomach.
answer
It's
the
not
question.
a talent
He can't
thing.
answer the
It's
question.
no. I can't stomach Aaron Rodgers. No, as a human being, as a person who walks around breathing on the same earth as I do, I can't stomach him. So I legitimately don't know. It's the same thing when people ask, "Hey Zach, what if Tom Brady was signed by the Steelers?" I'm like, I don't know if I would watch the games. I'm like, I don't think you understand the level of my hatred for this. So for me, it's a little different. Now, it might be that I'm on the spectrum, but my number one rule is if you beat us in a Super Bowl forever, you are the devil to me. He beat us in the Super Bowl. I see
I was gonna
nothing
say,
else but that when I look at him. So
if he
whenever
could win
you
us a
ask me
Super
that
Bowl, though,
question,
I don't think he can, but
so I have a hard time overlooking those things when it comes to. I absolutely understand why other people would want it. To me, it's a stomach churning idea. I don't know if I could bring myself to be okay with.
is it just because he beat the Steelers? That's why you dislike him that much? I know what kind of he is.
It's who he is as a person. I disagree with him as on a fundamental. Legitimately, the way he explains things, his audacity. I could have an entire documentary
Zach.
longer than Aaron Rodgers about what I don't like about him.
Zach.
But
We've all
That's
rooted for
Aaron.
worse human beings than Aaron Rodgers that put the black and gold on. We all done it. We've all done it.
I did not get asked if I wanted them on the team at the time. I just was.
No, I get
so
it.
I get to voice that.
I mean,
So
Cam Sutton.
it would be hard.
Exhibit A.
Yeah, exactly. Those kind of things are hard for me to overlook. So with Russell Wilson, at least I knew, you're losing us games, but you're going to be at the Children's Hospital on Tuesday, so I know that. It's those kind of. It did make me feel better, but at least I knew I didn't have to worry about him. Whatever. So that's my. I went on way too long about a subject that I should have just answered shortly on.
It's okay.
But wow, a lot of it. I understand this from the chat. I get this. I legitimately do. Just I can't. So I understand that.
It would be the ultimate
Greg,
battle of egos.
No, absolutely, it would be.
But it'd be a little bit of Ben Roethlisberger again, right? Where they call a play and he'd look at him like, "You guys are fucking stoned," and change the play at the line of scrimmage and be successful.
Yep.
Yes.
Because that's what Ben did his last 5 years in the league with these cruddy fucking offensive coordinators they gave him. He just said, he looked up, he said, "Fuck you, I'm going to call this play." Because that's what's necessary now. Somebody's got to do it because
Rodgers is still under contract with the Jets, correct?
Yeah.
So they'd have to cut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's no way
It's
it
highly
should
likely.
happen. It's just there's no way I would trade for him. Just so we're clear.
No,
No,
I'm just imagining. I'm taking the worst case scenarios from all three people. If Rodgers came, let's say he did. The worst scenario from all three people. You have Arthur Smith, who has the money, doesn't need to do any of this because they fuck it at any time, call the plays he wants. We have Aaron Rodgers, who feels like at any time he could call the plays he wants. You have Mike Tomlin, who has control of everything, who feels like he can call the plays he wants. We're going to catch on fire.
Yes, Darth. Let's not go there, please.
How else could that?
Hey, we need that. I mean, honestly, if the franchise is ever going to change, at least while Art's in charge, it's got to burn. It's got to burn, and it's either got to burn bright, and we go off on and maybe win a Super Bowl or at least win a playoff game, or it's got to burn down. I mean, that would start the fire of we're either going or we're leaving, but one or the other is going to happen.
I hate AR, but AR. I like that.
I hate AR, but
Goodness
AR.
gracious.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not signing him to run for president. We're signing him to play quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
Goodness.
3 years ago, I was all about Aaron Rodgers coming to the Steelers because he seemed to be still Aaron Rodgers at that point. So I was all about it. But now even I've cooled on him. But at this point, if you give me a choice between the two, it's not close for me.
If it's only those two.
Vicky's yelling
If
at
it's
us to
only-
get more positive.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was going to get us
Don't
to a
forget
more
about
positive
Skylar
place.
Thompson.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Skylar
good.
There
Thompson.
you go.
I don't know if it's going to get us to a more positive place, but if nothing else, for my sake, and so I can get the taste out of my mouth, we get to move a little away from Rodgers.
I love how you got Vicky saying be positive, and then next is like going burn, baby, burn.
If there was any better description of what you're going to get out of this podcast, it is those two comments next to each other right there.
Yes.
So
You know what we
it
need,
is going
Zach?
back-
Do you know what we need? We need a live cam in your house for the Aaron Rodgers press conference when they announce him signing the. We need live feed of
we
you
gotta
losing your
live
shit.
stream that.
That's gold. That's gold. That's worth 1,000 subscribers.
That's funny.
I don't know if my impulse
Or
control
my
is
house if
good
they
enough at the
announce Russell
moment.
Wilson's going to be the quarterback, because it'll be just as bad.
Since we're talking about quarterbacks, can we all agree on one thing? That please, dear God, not Jalen Milroe.
That's starting to get some
Well,
traction. It's
if
scaring me.
No, if we're talking as a first round pick, no. If we're talking like third round, I don't have too much of a problem with it.
He won't
So
last
no,
long.
but not as a first round. If people start talking about first rounders, that concerns. That's
I
a
would-
reach. But from what
People
I've
are backing
I,
into the Steelers in the first.
I would
that-
lose
that
my fucking
concerns me.
mind. Lose
Yeah.
my
third,
mind.
fourth round, third, fourth round, solid investment. Wait a little bit, possibly see what you got. And first round, wait,
There
and
is
it's a
smoke
Kenny
there.
Pickett reach. It would feel like another Kenny Pickett reach.
It's beyond the Kenny Pickett reach. This Jalen Milroe is a poor man's Anthony Richardson. You want Anthony Richardson as your quarterback?
I'm good.
No, if Anthony Richard wouldn't have started and would have been a project, I wouldn't have minded. It was the throw him in and then let him run as he wants to and call his own stuff. That's where I thought they bit.
He
So
completed
if
less.
Jalen Milroe comes as a project, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, if they take a shot with him in the third and fourth round, I'm okay with it. You know, throw a dart at the board, but first round, Jesus.
Hold on. Anthony Richardson completed less than 50% of his passes in college. He was not a project. He went to the combine, everybody saw him run, everybody saw him throw it 100 yards and thought, well, this guy's the next guy. He's not. He's a terrible passer. Jalen Milroe is a terrible passer. Look, if you want a guy to just run the football, you already got him on the roster. We want to run the Navy offense, we got the guy to run the Navy offense.
Well, we're going to switch over.
I don't like these names I'm
quarterback.
seeing in the chat. Kyle McCord, no.
Oh, Vaughn must have read my mock
Will
draft.
Howard, no.
I picked Kyle
No.
McCord in the 5th.
Oh, did you post
I like
it?
Jackson Dart.
I'll have to check it out. I forgot that you posted it, Bob.
Yeah, I posted an article and I posted on my social media. I had
I'll look
Kyle
it up.
McCord to us in the 5th.
Yeah, I'll look it up tonight.
And Dave should be happy. I picked 2 wide receivers in the 2nd and 3rd.
Yes,
There
that
you
makes
go.
me very happy. Very, very happy.
All right. Well,
Can't have enough
it
wide
is not
receivers.
quarterback day, surprisingly, as much as you think it would if you just tuned in. It is actually linebacker day every single day for the next little bit as we do our podcast. We're going to be picking different positions and seeing what we think they're going to be. And today is the state of the linebacker position. While we might not be expected to do a lot, there are some questions about it. We'll start right off the top. Bob, what do you think about the TJ trade rumors? And are there any value to it? And is it something we should consider? That we'll take that right off the top.
If you told me right now we can get 2 first for TJ,
You're not getting 2 first.
I think you could. I mean,
No, I don't think so.
because it's TJ and he's still, he's still perceived to be at or near the top of his game. Yeah. Would I trade him for 2 firsts? Yeah. Would I trade him for a first and a second? Probably. First and a third, okay, maybe not. I know there's some thought they want him to be a 1 helmet guy, and I'm not saying we should get rid of him, but if a team comes to you at this point, you've had TJ Watt since 2017. You got fuck all to show for it. So you got to start over at some point. I mean, he's 31. What are we going to hold on to him until he's 37?
Yeah, probably.
I would trade Cam. I would trade TJ. I would probably trade Minka. I mean, at this point, but that's because I want a full-on rebuild, start completely over. Look, if we're going to try to win next year, no, I wouldn't trade any of those guys. But that being said, I think you could make a case the defense is old and slow, and it's only going to get older and slower.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Bob. Like, if you're going to rebuild, then that's how you do it. Trade all your best players for the most of picks you can gain, and that's how you rebuild. You tank 2025 for 2026 to go and get this next group of guys that are going to lead your franchise in the future. That's the way I look at it too. If they want to burn it down, same thing. But if they're just going to keep running it back like we know they are, then
They got rid of Rod Woodson.
Yeah,
that's all you got to know. I mean, but
that was a different time.
That was Dan Rooney who was like, okay, I'm cutthroat. You're washed. You're done. I'm going to get what I can for you. And because the rest of the league doesn't think you're washed and done. Now we just hold on to everybody. Fuck. Bring Najee back. What the fuck? Let's make Zach happy. And then we can average 2 yards a carry for the next 10 years.
Well, I have, whenever someone talks about Najee, I only have one thing to say. Understandable. You show me the other back that the last 4 years in a row has gotten 1,000 yards, and I will agree that we should get rid of Najee. The second you show me a back that has done that consistently over the last 4 years, I will give you that.
No,
it's not that he's not talented. He's just not. Right. They need speed at running back. They need a little bit more speed.
The other thing about Najee is he's not a home run hitter. Like, he's not going to take it to the house. Like, he's definitely
not even a 20-yard hitter.
I'm just saying, like, for me, that's the difference. Is he's not that guy. He's not Barkley who can take it to the house. He's not, Henry who can take it to the house. That's the difference. He's a grinder. He's a guy you want on third down or to, ground out a defense at the second half with the lead. Definitely a guy you can use. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But he's not an elite guy. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't know. I believe we haven't seen a full on how good are you Najee, and if he goes to a team that if he went to Baltimore, if he went to Philadelphia, you would see a Najee that is different than the one we have. And Vaughn, really, really
Neither
quick,
one of them
I
would sign
understand. No, it's that wasn't my point. Vaughn, 1,000 yards might be overrated, but yet again, if it's overrated, I need you to show me all the other backs that have done it consistently over the last 4 years. I understand that people say that. You can't say that and then the
I
only
agree.
it is not Najee
Yeah.
and then but it is
Hey guys, this
Najee,
must be state of the linebackers, and we
Yes,
already veered
very
off
true.
to running backs.
Well,
and,
it's freeform Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
whatever the
Today
fuck
kind
day
of
it is.
seems like we're playing freeform jazz a little bit.
I can make a case for you that Najee's not even a top 20 running back.
I wouldn't go that far, Bob.
I wouldn't go
I mean,
I wouldn't go that far.
And that would not surprise me in the least. But
Okay.
now I will say this. Does it surprise you guys at all, one of two things, that TJ Watt is on the defensive player of the year list?
a little bit.
To me, that
A
surprised
little
me.
bit.
Legitimately, to me, that's a name thing. And I think TJ knows it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because they don't look any fucking further than the names. PFF said he had his best season ever. That's all they care about. So by that logic, he is the defensive player of the year.
So, but here's the thing. I think it is, and I mean, it could have changed in the last couple of games, but he was like in top 5 in different things like tackles for a loss, deflections, different stuff like that.
It's not a TJ Watt
like,
season though.
He
to his
did
standards.
have, I think, forced fumbles. He was top 3 or top 5 in that too.
I think he led the league in forced fumbles.
Yeah, like he was top 3 to 5 in a lot of different categories besides sacks. So. I think maybe that's why he's still in the discussion because but linebackers in general, off-ball linebackers, middle linebackers, I think they're going to bring Landon Roberts back. They only paid him $3.5 million this past season. He wants to finish as a Steeler. Tomlin loves him. He loves Tomlin. They're going to bring him back. That's
great. Another old slow guy who can't cover.
Bob, I understand. I don't give a shit. Like they love him. And he loves them. I think he's going to come back.
Like we said before,
it's
if it's not him, they're going to.
I don't want her to play in linebacker.
If not him, they're going to bring somebody like him because they like that kind of player.
I get it. So. But they're going to have Holcomb, they're going to have Queen, they're going to have Wilson, and they're probably going to have Landon Roberts and Mark Robinson. So.
I want to go back to TJ Watt. If you're going to trade him, this is the year to do it. I mean, this is the time to do it. If you don't do it this year, you might as well just. Keep him.
That I will 100% agree.
Oh, before I forget too, on this subject, I think they're going to cut Preston Smith, right? I mean,
$12
million. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way, right? Yeah,
he's gone. He might come back at a cheaper contract.
I could see them bringing Jeremiah Moon back because of special teams, and he's cheap, 4th guy or 5th guy.
And
I can see that. I know.
He does.
He was good on special teams, right? Was he at least good on special teams? I thought he did.
I think he's an okay special teams. Yeah, he's okay.
I mean, he's a waiver wire ad from they did last year. So but I could see them bringing him back for special teams. I don't know. I mean, Bob, do you have a guy you think they could go after as a 4th guy? I mean, do you have somebody or?
Hey, I swear to God, if they sign a linebacker in free agency, I mean, I will. Start spending Steelers gear on it.
Yeah, I get it. Why do you think I'm saying these guys? Because they're cheap. This is stuff they don't got to spend a lot of money on. That's why I didn't bring up any actual free agents because. Like Bob said, they shouldn't go spend money on anybody. I mean,
if Holcomb, if they think Holcomb's going to be healthy,
yep. Exactly.
I mean, okay, you go Queen, Wilson, Holcomb. Okay, if you can get a Landon Roberts for $2 million, $3 million, okay, fine, whatever, bring him back. But then Mark Robinson he's going to be up for a contract. What are you going to do? Are you going to re-sign Mark Robinson?
No.
Hey, if you could sign him for like a veteran minimum,
right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. He's got a little bit of value. I mean, he's a beast as a special teams tackler. He laid the wood on a couple people this year.
I think he's the biggest hitter on the team.
Sort of. Valuable, So.
Yeah, but that's basically the limit. That's where he's.
My big concern is what we've been talking about is this. I think this is a coaching issue more than anything. We have a defense that probably 30 other defensive coordinators in the league look at and go, I just had a chance to coach with those guys because Terrell Austin constantly. I don't think it's a Landon Roberts fault as much. He's a terrible guy in coverage, but Terrell Austin allows him to get schemed into coverage throughout the game without changing things. He just watches like, oh man, a Landon again. Oh man, it's a Landon again. Damn, if I could only do something about keeping a Landon out of cover, you can. You're Terrell Austin. Or it's Mike Tomlin. Either one. So there's always going to be that a Landon Roberts type because he's the best run stopper on the team, which we need. But we need a coach that will stop him getting schemed into situations he's bad at.
In the modern NFL, if you're playing anybody but the Steelers, who the fuck runs the ball enough to get Landon Roberts on the field? I mean,
Baltimore.
Look, I understand.
That's one.
Baltimore, the Chargers.
That's the only reason he's still on the team because of that.
But we prefer him to be in the nickel when that happens, so it's okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we're always wrong. Yep, we're always in the. That's why it's hard. I don't know what we have on with these guys because we bring these guys on. I don't trust our coaches to progress people. I don't trust our coaches to know how to. There's a lack of trust between the coaches and the players, so we have to have an amount of talent on our team that is so good it overcomes the coaching. And I saw something on Twitter that said that with Ben Roethlisberger, we were running this kind of a similar kind of conservative thing, but because of who Ben was, Ben at any point could say, no, we're not doing this anymore. And then Ben would call his game and we would play better than the scheme. So it's a coach. That's why it worries me. We talk about changing things up or bringing.
We don't have a coaching issue at.
Defensive line, but
no, don't go there.
I knew what I was going to, but it is widely perceived in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I wouldn't blame the run problem, the run issues on the defensive line coach. That's on the big guy. That's on the big guy, Mike Tomlin.
We should blame the special teams coach.
The defensive line coach doesn't call to go into nickel for 90% of the game. That's not his call. That's on Mike Tomlin and his freaking strategy for the game.
I mean,
let's run nickel all game long.
Theoretically, walk over and say, "Hey, I think they're going to run the ball."
Oh, we lost that.
We lost Zach. We're gonna have to trudge on without him.
Damn it, Bob! You made Zach leave.
He barely got it out of his mouth. The defensive. Oh shit.
So do we think that TJ could be traded? Deep down, do you believe they'll make that move?
No,
because I don't.
I don't. If you're not going to fire any coaches, how are they going to? Yeah. They don't have the stones to trade.
They don't. They're not going to change anything.
Nothing's changed. It really doesn't seem like it, right? It doesn't seem like they're going to change anything.
And I'll be rocking my 90 jersey with him when he's back on the team next year, and hoping that he somehow figures a way to get 11 sacks a game.
I mean, at least out of mercy, you should trade fucking Cam to a contender and give him a shot at a freaking Super Bowl because he's never going to win one here.
I feel really bad for Cam.
Trade that poor bastard to Detroit or, Buffalo or somewhere like that. Give the guy a shot. I mean, he's never going to win with this team.
No, I've made that point about Cam before, and I'll say it again. I'm not saying this is 100%, but bottom line is, with Cam Hayward as the leader of our team, we've won nothing.
Again, I think you're blaming the wrong guy.
It's well reported that he's a petty guy who was a training camp problem.
Really?
Yeah, he started all kinds of fights.
Oh, that was Hayward? I didn't think it was Hayward.
That was Hayward.
Starting fights with who? The teammates?
Virtually every teammate. Pick a teammate every year. It's like a tradition in Latrobe. Cam's going to get pissy with some guy on the offense and start a fight.
I've never heard that. I never heard it was Hayward. Wow.
I will say this. I said enough about Hayward that I've had to apologize for this season. I'm going to back off of any Hayward thing that has me doing anything but either staying neutral or being positive because I'm just fucking dead wrong about him.
I'm just trying to motivate him. He gets motivated by this shit. So, yeah, hey, Cam, you suck. Go win.
He's right. TJ's not going to win a ring either.
John, you're right.
They've wasted the primes of both those guys.
They did.
Cam doesn't really suck. That's to try to get him to be defensive player of the year.
It is, I know we keep coming back to the same thing, and this isn't the same. To me, this isn't the same kind of conversation as Tomlin controls everything. It's a general coaching atmosphere right now. Earlier in the show, Relic said something about the Steelers aren't our joke, the Steelers are the standard. And when I saw that comment, it stood out to me because I'm like, you have to have a used to in there because I will give you that because right now, if we're the standard, we shouldn't be because we're behind. We could be there. I think Mike Tomlin is a wonderful leader of men and should learn to delegate better. Once we learn to do that, then we'll be fine. And I don't have a lot of faith that we will. So that's my concern that we're going to have wonderful guys come in. We're going to feel hopeful. And the coaching yet again is going to make me use words like coward and tone deaf, and I'm going to get really frustrated again. So
Yeah,
that's my concern about the linebacker room, man.
You can't on one hand say he's a great leader of men, but he's a coward and tone deaf. I mean, he's one or the other.
He's a great leader of men. It's the delegation, because whenever he tries to do too much, he loses his what is his strength. He's not a good. I don't believe he's a good play caller. I don't believe
he's definitely not.
I don't think he's good at every single aspect of the team, and yet Mike Tomlin has his fingers in every. So if Mike Tomlin pulled away and did what a lot of other coaches do and simply have their assistants do that, Mike Tomlin could be the motivating coach I think he should be, and probably was when he first got here. But
did you see the Ben Johnson quote today?
Oh no,
I did.
He said, "Quarterback play is more important to winning than turnover ratio. Quarterback play is the number one indicator of offensive success." And that is the polar opposite of what Mike Tomlin believes. The polar opposite.
Yep.
Because he's absolutely paranoid of turnovers. That's why he didn't want to play Justin Fields anymore. Correct. That's why he puts the clamps on Russell Wilson. Mike Tomlin does not have any idea what offensive football should look like in 2025. None. Zero. And it's never going to change as long as he's the head coach.
And to piggyback on that, the Ravens had 4 turnovers against Buffalo in Buffalo and still only lost by 2 points. Right?
Yeah, they should have won the game. If Mark Andrews catches that ball, they're going to go on and win that game eventually because they got the Bills on the heels.
So he might be right.
He's absolutely right.
I will tell you this, though. This whole turnover myth thing, and it is a myth about this Justin Fields. They were afraid of turnovers with Russ. Justin Fields threw 1 interception in 6 games. He lost 1 fumble in 6 games. I know his history in Chicago, but his history in Pittsburgh was he didn't turn the ball over.
But Bob, they clamped down on him so hard.
Yeah, they were definitely.
Maybe they should have clamped down on Russell Wilson with his fucking 60-yard throw over the middle to Calvin Austin.
You won't get any arguments from me on that one.
Yeah.
It's just Tomlin's whole philosophy is so outdated, and it's never going to change. And that's why when people say, "Oh, you guys are spoiled in Pittsburgh. You don't understand what you have, and be careful if you lose it." No, we know. We understand.
Yeah.
We're caught in the spin cycle for the rest of our lives. We're never going to win. We're going to just be barely above 500. Blah, 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 blah.
Tough
Rinse,
defense,
repeat.
Run the ball, don't turn the ball.
Yeah, and the defense wears down by week 12, and they're shit the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And people are getting injured because we're trying to play physical smash mouth football, and there's nobody left by January.
And the team.
And the only one that got smashed was our defense. They're the only ones that got smashed.
Look, you can make the argument maybe our offense has quit before and, or they just weren't very good. This is a defensive team, a defensive coach. And that defense, and if you don't believe what I'm saying, go back and watch the games and listen to the freaking commentators. They quit on him. Mr. Big Leader, his team, his defense quit on him.
It's the same thing every year, Bob. The offense stinks, so the defense is on the field all season long. And just before the last games of the season, the playoffs, they're completely worn out. And they fail.
They were leading the league in time of possession.
Who was?
The Steelers with Justin Fields.
Well, yeah, with Justin Fields.
Yeah, with Justin Fields. I think we all the couple games right afterwards where it seemed like the best move we've ever seen to switch to Russell Wilson. That was sure. I think
they got a 2-game bump.
They
got a 2-game bump with that, and it was just shit after that.
And I wish I would have gone back and said to myself, "Stop looking at Russell Wilson. Look at the blocking," because that would have let me know why we were winning. Because the outside blocking playing above their normal level of that season is what got us that boost. And the second they stopped, we dropped back down.
I think teams just weren't ready for the change. They're so different that it took the rest of the league a couple games to get used to. It's not Justin Fields running. I mean, it's not Justin Fields taking off and running with the clamps on him. This is Russell Wilson. He's gonna air it out a little bit. Once they figured that out and took the deep ball away from him, he was worse than Justin Fields after that.
It was curtains.
Yeah.
Straight curtains.
No, that's a good point. Well, before we get into the legendary picks part of it, we'll start with David and we'll go around. However you want to summarize it, but if you were asked what is the state of the linebacker position in Pittsburgh, how would you sum it?
I would say it's good. I'd say it's good.
Maybe strength of the team.
I'm filled with hope.
I
The spark is there.
I mean, look, Highsmith is good. TJ's good. Herbig as a third guy is I think good for being a third guy. Dave. As far as middle linebackers goes, what I'd like to see more out of Queen. Yeah, I'd like to see more out of Queen. But Holcomb healthy when he did get in the groove last season, I thought was good.
Guys, I don't know if I'm ever going to see Holcomb again.
Peyton Wilson for a fourth, I was impressed with him. So, yeah, I think it's a good group. Hope to see more out of a couple of them, though. But, yeah, for the most part, I think the state of it's really good.
I'd say it's at best a C+. I think Highsmith is pretty good, although didn't necessarily have the greatest season. But, I'm factoring injuries there, too. I assume he'll be better next year. But then again, he's a year older. People don't get healthier as they get older. I think Herbig has, as a third rusher, is going to have some star quality to him. And I think we're going to watch him blossom outside of Pittsburgh. I think TJ will bounce back a little bit. The middle linebackers, I mean, Queen, I'd give a B-. I think Peyton Wilson has the potential to be a B+ type of linebacker. I don't really think Landon Roberts adds anything. This whole myth of, he's a big hitter. Okay, he is a big hitter. But if I'm a quarterback on the field and I look at Landon Roberts on the field, I'm like, okay, guys, we were going to run. We're going to pass now. And whoever's he's covering, you're getting the ball. So, yeah, I mean, overall, the sad thing is probably the strength of the team. And
I was just going to say that, Bobby. You stole my thunder. The sad thing is it's the strength of the team.
Yeah, slightly above average.
What other position group would you say is better than the linebackers?
None.
Baker?
Well, None. With Van Jefferson on the team, I'd have to
forget that.
Yeah.
Forget that. Fingers crossed, maybe the offensive line becomes the strength of the team, maybe not next year, but the year after. But they're not the strength right
see. Now. I mean, it would depend. Man, we're really getting on a rant here, but it would depend on if, Broderick's way more better at left tackle. Boatano was legit a good pick at right tackle. McCormick gets better. Frazier continues to be what he was. And then Sayamalu's, steady.
And you got to look at bringing in maybe a guard in the draft, in the later rounds of the draft, because
I would move on from Sayamalu. I would Bob, try to sign a big-time guard to help these guys.
Bob. I would contemplate it, too. If the right one's there, yeah.
Because he's now going to be in the same situation as James Daniels. I don't know that you cut him.
I'd go after, who's the guard for Kansas City that's going to be a free agent? Get a bona fide big – what is it?
Is it Tooney?
No, it's Trey Smith or something. He's supposed to be the top guard in free agency. I'd sign him. Give this offensive line a legit Pro Bowl caliber guy they can anchor around. All these young guys going for it. I think he's only 27 or 28. Give them something to,
I think you got that guy. Honestly, on the team already. It's Zach Frazier.
Yeah, but you need a veteran. I agree with you. Frazier's going to be very good. That's the one guy you'll get no argument from me. Yeah. But I think you need a veteran, solid, borderline Pro Bowl guy so they can all, he can be a leader and there's somebody that can anchor around. Sayamalu's not that guy.
We'll talk about
the next step up from Sayamalu.
Yeah, we can talk.
I'm jumping the gun, but
yeah.
So we'll get into that. But
if you thought the Colbert debate was good, wait till we talk about offensive line.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, well, linebacker
feelings about
mainly.
We know.
We will definitely get into that. But I wish I could say I wasn't more concerned about the linebacker position because it has such potential if there was willingness to change. The second I heard that with the Steelers don't think that it has to do with TJ needing to move around or all of that, I'm like, oh, God damn it. I'm like, because you do have to move around, TJ. You're getting older. Let's start changing what you do. When I looked at other teams in the playoffs and their best defensive player the front of the front seven, every single time they bring them up, they're like, by the way, he's played in this position, this position, this position, and this position in this year and here. And TJ Watt plays in one position. So my concern is there's going to be not enough change to bring out what this linebacker core needs to be better than they were. That's my concern. But with that in mind, what?
I was going to say, someone we brought it up on a podcast earlier this season. Someone compared T.J. Watt to a one-trick pony, but the best one-trick pony there ever was. He's got one move, and he's fantastic at it. I don't think you can move him. I don't think you can ask him to do different stuff. He's been doing the same thing for 10 years. To ask him to change now at 31 years old, play on the other side, TJ, or try a spin move now. I don't know if that's
Why?
it.
He's done it.
I think, yeah, and I think it's the same thing. Like when they asked Ben to change his thing, like stop being as much of a gunslinger. I need you to sit back. And Ben didn't like it.
Yeah, and he didn't. He never played as well again.
Do it. He didn't really change till he hurt his arm.
Yeah,
TJ hasn't changed.
To me, I think TJ.
I thought his first season he did.
Well, he was playing out of position. He was playing behind.
Yeah, I
James Harrison.
In general, he has done it. That's all I mean.
Yeah, and he wasn't very good that first year.
But I'm just saying they've moved him around. I mean, they did do
not
it
for.
That's what I'd like to do, because if nothing else, because
they just never did it to adjust to what the other teams are doing. That's the thing that makes me the angriest the most, is that they didn't even try something. Like try.
Yep. We've been figured out. So if TJ's really the one trick pony that can only do it from that side, that I really hope you're wrong, because if that's true, then I don't know how TJ's ever as productive again in his career. If that's all he can do, teams know how to shut him down now. So I'm hoping that he can be versatile.
It's incumbent upon the defensive. Look, if they're not going to move people around, and it's going to be fucking Mike Tomlin as the defensive coordinator again, then it's incumbent upon Tomlin to incorporate what needs to happen. You're going to play 3 guys on TJ Watt's side and chip him? No problem. I'm going to send Alex, and I'm going to blitz off the other side.
Blitz.
Got to blitz.
And they don't do that well right now. They do it terribly.
I completely.
Every time they blitz, they're exposed. They don't get home.
I can't believe they didn't do it.
Because they're shitty at it. Because when they do it, they get exposed. So they need to bring someone in here who can design blitzes again. Because these two clowns have no idea what they're doing. He's right. You got 3 guys blocking TJ on one side. If you blitz one guy off the other side with Alex, you should have free. You should have a free run to the quarterback.
Right, that means the other side's weak.
But you don't. They never did it. They never had a free runner to the quarterback all season that I can remember.
Not
on
off
a blitz,
but Herbig.
Off a blitz.
Herbig, because
besides beating a guy one-on-one. I'm talking about designing a blitz for a free. You see it all the time. It happens to the Steelers every game.
Yeah,
but they never did it.
No,
it's an excellent point.
Seems impossible that you couldn't do it.
Yeah, we are not done just because we are done with linebackers, because this is an extra episode because we don't have a ton of games left there. It's hard to say. There are 3 games left in the actual NFL season, and we'll be covering 2 of them in legendary picks. So, Dave, you want to pick up our legendary picks? Because I need to get some ginger ale so I can actually continue speaking.
Sure. All right. Game 1, Washington Commanders are visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. They're getting 6 points. What do we think, guys?
You want to go first, Bob?
Yeah, there was a nagging thing in the back of my mind last week to pick the Commanders to cover. I never thought they'd win the game outright. I think that was one of the biggest shocks in a few years. But that being said, the Eagles are not the Commanders. I know the Commanders beat them a couple of weeks ago. They were kind of loafing it a little bit. They got up, then they let the lead get back. The Eagles are focused. I think Saquon Barkley's going to run for 1,000 yards on Sunday. I like the Eagles in the points here. I'll lay the 6, and I'll take the Eagles.
Bob, you told me Jaden Daniels is special, and you were right. Made a believer out of me. Here's the thing. Hurts he's hurt. He's not healthy. And he was a full participant in practice this week, today, I believe. But he is one injury away from Mr. Kenny Pickett getting put in this game. So, and the fact that the Commanders, like the way they beat the Lions, like, I mean, just to put up 45 points, I mean, wow. So I still think the Eagles win. I just think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be under 6 points. So I'm taking the Commanders in the points.
I will say this. The Eagles defense is not the Lions defense.
That's true. That's a good point. But man, Jaden Daniels, I'm telling you,
no, he's the real deal.
I also don't think Kenny Pickett will come into the game if Hurts has a problem. I think they go to the 3rd string kid.
Wow.
It's possible.
That
Zach, what do you think?
I die
See,
laughing.
this I don't know about this because I was genuinely convinced the Detroit Lions were one of those teams of destiny. They just looked like
So was
everything
I.
in it. And goodness, what the command I'm I get to use one of my I'm flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted that happened because I don't have other than Jaden Daniels is so much better than I thought, and makes me a little happier that the Steelers beat them. So in case anybody forgets, the Steelers did beat the Washington Commanders. Makes me
Feels like
very
a million
happy.
years ago.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But I'm still going to hold it tight
In our
right
lifetime.
now. Okay, I need to sleep. You calm down and don't take my
Dave,
happiness.
Dave has zero
Wrong
fucks
with
to
you.
give about that game.
I just feel like it was another
Apparently,
century, for Christ's sake.
I just showed
Oh.
him my little bubble of happiness, and he just smacked it out of my hand. And just wow, I don't know why he chose to do
It was like
that.
a wake-up
But
call with
no,
Jaden Daniels. He lost to the Steelers, and then all of a sudden he went on a tear and fucking...
Dave is straight Darth Vader.
I'm in a dark place with this team. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to
No
lie.
doubt.
I'm in a dark place.
the Eagles are special, and I will say more that Saquon Barkley is special.
Yeah.
There was one the clip that made me realize that this team was going to the Super Bowl. That this game to me is kind of just for show. Is him running the game when he broke free near the end, and he is so excited on his own. He is slapping himself in the helmet. He is so psyched up. That was just a football moment to me, and as a running back guy, made me very, very happy in that moment. I wanted a Derrick Henry Saquon Barkley matchup. I wanted to prove everyone wrong and say, oh look, it was going to be the battle of the running backs.
But do the
not
Eagles
Ravens,
cover?
Derrick and I get confused every single time we do that. You know what? Yes, I'll just take the Eagles regardless.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles too. Go ahead.
I was just going to say with Vaughn's comment here, we just said finished. Daniels, I wouldn't say he's so much better than Hurts. He's definitely better than Hurts. But bottom line is, there's a big difference.
The rosters.
Defense is probably the best in the NFL, and there's this guy named Saquon Barkley. You may have heard of him.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
Man, am I the only one taking the points?
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles too. I think they're just too good. Their defense is good. I think Jaden Daniels has a come to Jesus moment in this game. Comes back to earth a little bit. They're gonna rough him up.
I don't like this. I don't like nobody else's.
I mean, I've been wrong. I've been wrong. I thought this was going to happen against Detroit, and it didn't happen. So don't go by what I say. I just think the pump. His time's up. Jaden Daniels' time's up. Philly's going to win this one kind of comfortably.
Other than when we played Washington, I hadn't watched a lot of Jaden Daniels games, and I've watched every playoff game he's played. And boys, this kid, hey, if you would just show me a clip, not tell me who he is, I would assume that he was I'm not saying like a veteran, but like probably a 5-6 year kid.
Yeah,
and that's
out of his mind.
Remarkable. So, and you do not hit on that a lot. You really, really don't. And the Giants are kicking themselves because it is on camera on Hard Knocks that they were told that they should have taken him and they didn't. So it makes me laugh a little bit. But Jaden Daniels is truly impressive.
The Giants might kick themselves. The Bears are going to be suicidal that they passed on Jaden Daniels for Caleb Williams.
Well, let's see how Caleb. I want to see how he
Caleb
does
will be good enough where it won't be too bad.
Coach.
I don't think he's going to be as good as Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, not as good though. Yeah.
No, but I think
I'm very. Yeah, continue.
They passed on Pat Mahomes for Mitch Trubisky.
A lot of people did.
That is so bad. Oh my god.
The Bears specifically did. They drafted
the Bears have been a train wreck for 10 years. Let's see if this new coach can turn that around. But
what a setback, dude.
There's no way to know in the drafts. So
yeah, it's tough. The next game, the AFC Championship, the Buffalo Bills are traveling to Kansas City. They're getting 1.5. Oh, part of me, we were talking about this in the chat, part of me is really, really enjoying watching the Patriot fans suffer as Patrick Mahomes approaches all of Tom Brady's records. So but I am as tired of the Chiefs as anybody else in this country. I can't stand the penalty flags. I can't stand Mahomes flopping. He's getting on my nerves now. That said, I don't know if anybody can stop them, to be honest, because they're really good at what they do. Really good at what they do. Who wants to take this first?
I'm telling you right now, as far as I'm concerned, I'll go first.
To be Smooth Jimmy's lock of the week.
Ooh, that's a big lock, all right. But
You're actually
Uh-oh.
Our
taking
main man
one. I
Relic
wasn't
says
gonna
in
have
chat,
one.
if
Wow.
it was called fair, you'd pick the Bills. It ain't going to be called fair.
No.
The Chiefs are a home dog. A home dog. Patrick Mahomes is a home dog. I'm sorry. The Chiefs are going to win this game. They just are. I would love to be wrong and see Buffalo go to the Super Bowl. I understand. I like Buffalo. I thought they were the best team coming in. And if Buffalo, if this was a pick'em game or Buffalo was getting a point, I would absolutely pick Buffalo. But bottom line is Andy Reid is way better coach than Sean McDermott. And if you don't think he's got his team saying, hey, you're the 2-time defending Super Bowl champion and you're an underdog in your house, oh yeah, the Chiefs are
No,
gonna
the
hammer.
Chiefs are a favorite by 1.5, Bob. They're a favorite.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I'm
No,
still taking the Chiefs.
You make a good point about Sean McDermott. He's Mike Tomlin light. Like they share a brain. They're very similar. The difference is Sean McDermott lets his coordinators coach more than Tomlin does, but he makes some weird ass decisions sometimes.
I'm different, guys. I'm taking Josh Allen. It's his time, baby. Let's go.
I hope you're right.
Look, this guy's so good. And the way they are able to beat the Ravens were arguably the best team coming in the way they were playing. They were on fire the way Henry Lamar was playing. And the Bills did a really good job against them, keeping them in check, honestly, compared to what the Steelers did, if you will. So I just, it's a lot to overcome. I get it. I don't blame anybody for taking the Chiefs. It's just that Josh Allen's really good. And I really think that this is the one time I think he's got a chance to actually win and get to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bills. I am.
All right. Yeah.
I'm probably going to go 0-2, but that's okay.
I've been seeing a lot of people online trying to compare like specific number of penalties that the Chiefs have to. Those show me the people that don't understand football games when they're watching it, because it's the timing of these penalties. It's right when the other team is about to get that momentum swing and the refs suddenly determine it's going to go the other way. And I know he probably doesn't want this, but Troy Aikman, if you are watching this, thank you for having the guts during the game to call out the refs, not once, not twice, throughout the game, and then to go back to previous penalties and recall them. While I appreciate that, because when I watch games and I know that the momentum has been swung for a team based on the refs, and then they compliment the team for that momentum, I get mad because I'm like, you are now bad at your jobs. You did not see what's going on then. So I personally like to think that, but I agree with David.
Fat load of good it did him, though.
It is Josh Allen's year, but I don't know if that matters when it seems kind of predetermined. And I think Josh Allen is going to get cheated. I think yet again, without any qualms at all, on national television, we are going to see the refs steal this game again. I don't know once or twice, but something's going to happen where Josh Allen's going to get screwed. I just hope it's not as bad as the holding call in the Super Bowl a little bit ago.
I got a question, guys. How many times has Allen lost to Mahomes in the AFC Championship? Has it been twice now?
Just once. I think it's just once.
Hey, I don't
So I
think
thought it was Burrow lost to him more, I thought, right?
I'm trying to remember. I
don't think
Burrow
Josh
beat him.
Allen has been to an AFC Championship game.
What? I thought he
his
was.
first one.
They lost in the divisional round on that 13-second.
I thought they lost to the Chiefs. I could have sworn because it was when the Chiefs won because they got the ball first. Remember the whole controversy, or was that not the AFC Championship?
I think that was. Hold on, let's
For some reason, I
Let's
thought
double-
they faced each other in the AFC
Yeah, I'm
Championship twice. I could be wrong. Maybe it was just a divisional round.
They played in the conference championship in 2020,
Okay, so just once.
and they lost 38-24 to the Chiefs.
So that they faced them more times in the playoffs, it just wasn't the AFC Championship, and they lost.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're
that's
thinking
what-
of the divisional round.
Okay.
13-second
Yeah.
game.
Okay, so my thing is for this is that how many times is Allen going to get eliminated by Mahomes in the playoffs?
This will be the fourth time.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so the
Actually-
law of average says that he's due, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
So if it's a little off topic, but yeah, I'm curious. Does that make Josh Allen the Peyton Manning or the Tom Brady of the or the Brent
Peyton Manning.
Roethlisberger of the current
Peyton
thing?
Manning. I mean, Brady
Yeah.
beat him
Peyton
how
Manning.
many times?
And so then Burrow would probably be the Ben Roethlisberger because he's gotten beat a couple times. But I'm trying to think, because Ben got beat like twice in the AFC Championship.
Well, Burrow hasn't won yet, so I can't put him up in that level.
No.
Oh,
Hey.
good point. Good point.
Hey, you know what? Before you go comparing Burrow to Ben Roethlisberger, there was a great stat. I meant to bring it up because it was an awesome tweet. Joe Burrow, his first 5 years, has been to the playoffs twice. Andy Dalton, his first 5 years, went 5 times. He won 20 more games than
I
Burrow.
did see this. I did see the
Yeah, but,
stats. I did see it.
Let your eyes do the talking. I mean,
wow.
do you want Joe Burrow or do you want the Red Rifle? Come on. Come on.
Andy Dalton, AJ Green were pretty good.
Yeah, I'm still not taking Andy Dalton. Come on.
Andy Dalton and AJ Green are the Temu version of Jamar Chase and Joe
That's a
Burrow.
circumstantial thing. I mean, the Bengals had a better defense back then. Their defense sucks now.
Oh wow!
There's a lot of factors that go into it.
When the Bengals had a good defense, that was
when they had Perfect and all those clowns, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, dirty defense. That's what you're talking about. Okay, sorry.
That
heard you.
Yes.
I'm not negative. Relic's killing me. You don't think Burrow's better than freaking the Red Rifle? Come on. Come on. That's ridiculous.
Hey, the president of the Van Jefferson fan club, I expect nothing less.
The stats don't lie, Dave. Remember that.
I'm negative. Have you not watched the Steelers the last 5 years? How can you not be negative, for Christ's sake?
Hey, Darth.
Really, the last
calm down. Okay.
Well, that's like
Burrow was
saying
ass lately. He only led the league in touchdowns and passing. But he's ass.
Talking about Burrow was MVP candidate this year, Relic. What are you talking about?
Give me he's just trying to freaking get under my skin again.
Does Relic like notes about what to say to really?
He gets me fired.
He probably does. He's great at it. We love having him in the chat. He's awesome.
I'm picking the Chiefs, by the way, in case anybody cares.
David is going opposite on both picks. I
want the Bills to win in the worst way, but I'll believe it when I see it. Let's put it that way.
So wait a second. I'm opposite of both of you on both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate
Chiefs
that.
Eagles rematch, right? They played a couple years ago.
David, I want to be with you on that, but I from what I saw last week, it's predetermined.
I think the Commanders are going to lose. I just think it's going to be close. That's all.
Look, if you believe it's scripted and it's WWE, then what's going to happen is Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes are fighting it out. The Chiefs get a big penalty, but Lamar Jackson's going to run in from the back and clobber Patrick Mahomes.
For anybody watching after, let me and just saw this clip as a snapshot. Let me clarify very quickly. I do not feel the NFL is scripted. I don't feel the refs are scripted. I don't feel the agenda. I do feel that these refs are the only part-time employees out of any North American major sport. They are expected to then cover a multi-billion-dollar company with all of these multi-billion-dollar assets on the football field, do it in a split second, most of the time without the ability for someone to check their work, and they have to get it right the first time. Of course they're going to get it fucking wrong. Yeah. So that is what I.
There's no doubt.
And when they come into it, you're a human being. When I go into work sometimes as a human being, I carry what I have in my personal life into it. The refs are part-time employees. They're carrying whatever they have into it. They could be Chiefs fans. They could have seen a commercial that pissed them off, or they could like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. There could be unconscious bias going on. Whatever I'm saying is there's not enough investment in the referee and officiating system for me to trust them with anything, let alone how these games go.
I just hate that replay assist conveniently gets used only on some plays.
It's the weirdest thing ever. I don't understand it at all.
I don't like
it. Look,
either use it or don't use it at all. One or the other.
When they said that the Eagles threw no punches in that skirmish, I was like, oh, so you're just going to straight up, even on the check, you're going to cheat. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that I kind of threw up my hands. I'm like, okay, well, and there's and the amount of fines that people have to take to say something about it, you have to be willing to pay a lot of money to say something to the refs. So
holy crap, it's almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah, good thing the quarterbacks make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Good. I know, right? So, yeah, well, do you guys have anything you want to wrap it up with, because I know we all wish we were here, but let's be quite honest, from what we've seen from all the other teams, there is a clear reason that we are not here, and hopefully we learn from watching the teams that are here.
Dave,
You need to calm down. Let me have a captain. No one's let me have my
Show me the evidence. All the coaches are coming back. All the players are coming back. We learned, all right.
Yet again, I'll reiterate this one thing for my last thing. I cannot comprehend going into the season or even a game without getting myself to a place where I truly believed we were going to win that game. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be able to watch it. So that's where I personally, so when I talk about it, it's mainly because I need a reason to be able to go into the season, go into the games. So I legitimately am, I don't understand how you can do what you do, how you can, I don't. It's amazing to me. I don't know if it's compartmentalization or whatever, but I can't do it. So
my wife says it all the time. She said, "You used to get so mad when the Steelers lost. You were almost unbearable. And now I see you giggling after that. It's just my expectations are gone. Like it's hard to get emotionally invested in this team because you know they're going to pull a rug out from under you at a certain point. It's like,
that's how my stepdad reacts, and he's a Browns fan, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, well.
Wow, that was
it smells
a little
like
bit
shit.
of reality check. Just hurt my
it smells
back.
like shit. It's shit.
It's shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That hurt.
In the last
that
10
hurt
years,
a bit.
I am. This is a good point. I'm numb to this team.
Yeah.
It's been so bad for so long that I am just. It's going to be a while before I can get optimistic about this team again. I'm sorry. It's just.
Yeah, so there's real change, then we'll all get real optimistic real fast.
I want them to win. I root for them to win every game, but in the back of my head, I know they're going to end up losing in the big games. It's just. What other evidence do we have the last 10 years?
Look at it. I will tell you one thing we've learned, bringing back this whole coaching staff, we did not run the toss sweep enough.
Oh, God. If I even hear the term toss sweep, I get the shakes. Never mind seeing it.
I kind of wish this. I feel like when you say pull the rug out, I kind of ominously feel a little bit like that this season, because I had gotten to the point with the Matt Canada situation where over the weeks and over the years, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm ready. Burn it down. Let's start this whole thing over. Okay, and then they gave me hope again, and I'm still there. They still, because I can't just give away what I felt they earned back, but. I almost wish I would have just been kept in that area, would have kept going with the Matt Canada and burned it down, because this hurts to have gotten the hope back and then be back down. I wish I would. So that's my frustration at the Steelers right now. So, and John, if, at the very top, this is what we talked about to open everything. So if you want to go back and check it out, we actually did talk about this. Just so you know. So anyone else have anything to close it?
Yeah,
oh, go for it.
Actually, just the Jim Marie thing was actually a podcast. He did it with Ross Tucker. It wasn't an article, John. And he actually talks about his book he did, and it's got a lot of stuff from the 70s all the way up to the whole Rooney Rule and why it went. They came up with it. It had to do with Tony Dungy not getting interviewed, actually. And that it just talked about a bunch of different stuff. So if you want to read about some of the history of the Steelers and some inside things, that's what that's about. So besides the stupid shit he said about Tomlin and the Steelers, the stuff of his book might be some good stuff to read. That's it.
Look at that. I like that. Okay, well, if you stuck around for us this long, thank you so very much. You can follow us all over the place. We got writing going on. Bob is sharing his mock drafts. Is it every day? Bob, Tuesday. When do you share your mock drafts? Tuesday. Every Tuesday? You can see the mock drafts. And the closer we get to drafts, we'll shift it over. I know a lot of people every week ask us, are you going to do draft stuff? The closer we get, we're going to shift in our heads and put our draft hats on, because I know all of us really love the draft. And that's when I pull out my Excel sheets and I get really excited about it. So when are we back next? Are we back next Monday again?
Monday.
Yep. Monday
and Thursday going forward.
Like I said, we're spinning our wheels about what extra little segments to have during the off season. If you have any ideas for us, shoot it in the comments. If you can find us on Twitter, you can see our little things underneath that, or Blue Sky, wherever you happen to be. Let us know, because we want to fill the time. We know there's going to be a lot of dead air, and we want to make sure that we fill that. So from all of us to all of you, have a wonderful week.
With all due respect, you're using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You know, these guys ain't so fucking bad.
What did you say? What was that?
Whoa, I said it with all due respect.
No, that doesn't mean you get to say whatever you want to say to me.
Sure as heck does.
No, it doesn't mean that.
It's in the Geneva Convention. Look it up.
I think you can go get him now. You know, they could be a lot worse.